And welcome to Peter's Photography channel. Thank you for joining us today. Today I'm just going to show you how I do my black and white seamless Photoshop edit. Okay, now let's start. Let's go to our Photoshop. I already got the image that I wanted to do over here, but I'm going to start from fresh from the start. So let's go back. We're going to go to File, Open. We're going to select now the image we want to do. Sorry, I'm just going to scroll down to the image that I had. So this is a wedding that I did a few months back, and it was a lovely wedding and a beautiful couple. Let's just go to that image that I want. This is the image that I want. I'm gonna go on this one. I'm gonna open it. I'm just gonna reset the defaults because I already done editing on the image. Let me just take all the presets back to normal. Okay, let's start. Here's my image. My image is open in Camera Raw because all my shoots I do in camera. I shoot in RAW. So I'm going to show you now how I do my seamless black and white images. So when your image is open in Camera Raw, okay, I'll show you as well. It doesn't really matter if you shot in JPEG. Photoshop does have the option that you can use the Camera Raw on a normal JPEG image. I'll show you now how to do that. Okay, so now I've got my image over here. The only few settings that I do on my image before I take it to black and white. The first thing that I do is I always take my highlights and my whites a bit down, just to bring the highlights like on a forehead, on his forehead, just to bring it down. And like in this image, there's a lot of highlights at the back. Then I'll bring my shadows up, get all the detail here out in the hair and stuff like that. But now we're going to take the blacks. We're going to give more blacks into the image. You'll see if I take the shadows back to normal, it goes very dark. But I want that small detail like on the hair and stuff like that. So I'm going to push up my shadows. Okay, by using the blacks, and the more you put in, the more the color pops out. You'll see if I take my blacks down, the color is not that intense. But if I take more black in, the color gets intense. But that's a good thing. I'll show you now when we're going to open the image. Okay, this is the only settings that I do. Is I set my highlights a bit down, my whites a bit down, and I lift my shadows and I give a bit more black. Then the next step that I want to do is I'm going to go to detail and just add a bit of sharpness, about 60, and just a small bit of luminance, about 5. That's all I want to do. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to open it in Photoshop. Just give it a while for it to open. Okay, now my image is open in Photoshop. If you shot in JPEG, you can always go up on your Photoshop and go to Filter, and you will have the option of Camera Raw Filter. This will open your image up in that Camera Raw that I showed you before. Okay, so let's start doing a seamless black and white on this image. So the first thing I want to go do is I want to create a new adjustment layer. I want to go up to black and white. Now you will get this color panel properties. You'll see your reds, your yellows, your greens, cyans and blues. Now you can adjust this and you will see the colors that adapt on the image itself if you move and scroll on the colors. So what I will do with this, the reds are the main color that shows normally on the images. You can just play around with this. Doesn't matter what you do on this one. I just play around. It depends on what image you have. You can just play around to get a nice seamless image that all the colors look on the same levels. Now when you're done doing this, your next step would be to get a bit more depth in the image. So what I will do is create another adjustment layer, go to levels. This will add a new adjustment layer. I'm just going to take the blacks on the left hand side a bit down. My midtones I will boost up a bit more. There we go. So I've got my black and white adjustment layer, then I've got my levels adjustment layer. Now the last step that I want to do is I go to a new adjustment layer and go to curves. Now what I want to do is I want to lift my shadows and do like an S curve on my curves. My curve line over here. Lift the highlights a bit more. Take it down. You can play around with this option, but to get that nice seamless where the blacks fill in nicely together is to lift on the bottom side up. Then you get a nice, you'll see if I take it down, if I take it up, you'll see how the blacks blend nicely into each other. But just be careful. You can move your midtones a bit around. And I'll show you. Midtones adjust. There we go, and there we go. Then you can just adjust the highlights if you want more highlights on your image or not. But there we go. You'll see if I've put all these layers off from the original one, we've got our black and white conversion, and we've got an adjustment layer with the levels, just to give it a bit more levels, and then curves just to blend everything together. And that's how you do it. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys. Have a blessed day.